What is going on, everyone? Phil here, and welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, the 13th of June, 2023. Another jam-packed day full of content here on DSPGaming. An interesting day, to say the least. How are you all today? Hope that you are in a good mood and things are going well for you. If not, hopefully this show can turn things around and maybe put a smile on your face, or maybe give you a little bit of information that's interesting to you. I guess we'll see. Hopefully the entertainment factor is there. And I hope that you are ready for more gaming, because there's a lot coming today. A full day of gaming here on DSP Gaming, but not my last day of gaming for the week. This is an extended streaming week where I'm actually going to be here tomorrow as well. And so I hope you guys are ready. Oh, yeah. So welcome, everyone, and I hope that you're ready for a little bit of discussion. We got some good things to talk about today. Notably, first of all, pretty much all of the digital gaming events have now kind of wrapped up as of yesterday. And there's a lot to talk about there. Yesterday, I talked a little bit about the Xbox and the Starfield events. Yesterday was the Ubisoft Forward and the Capcom presentation, Capcom Showcase. I watched those overnight with my wife. And so I know about all of that stuff. And I'm curious, what you guys would like to talk about this morning. If you have any particular topics from those two showcases you'd like to discuss or hear my opinions on, I am going to make a video, excuse me, either tonight or tomorrow for DSP Reacts, and that video is going to be essentially a recap reactions of the things that I felt were the most important during those shows. Because if you actually sat there and watched all of those shows, that's like 4 hours. But in reality, there's probably about 45 minutes worth of stuff that's actually worth talking about through all that bloat and all that fluff that they always present. The thing that always gets me is when they do these online presentations like this, or they used to do these E3 stage presentations, and they're like, world premiere announcement, and then it's just a story trailer that doesn't explain anything about the game. Essentially, they're just saying, hi, I'm making a game. And you'd be like, okay, yes, you're a game development company. That's what you do. You make games. But if you don't have anything to talk about, concrete about your game, why even talk about it now? That does drive me nuts. Or the even better one is when they do a ginormous cinematic trailer, and then they show you the game, and the game is nothing like the trailer. Like, it has nothing to do with what they just showed you with the trailer. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so let's see what you guys want to chat about today, rather than me saying, I want to sit here and go through every bullet point, just like we did yesterday. What I will do is I will open up the show to, Q&A and see what it is you guys want to discuss about these showcases, or in particular, Ubisoft Forward and Capcom Showcase from yesterday. If you have particular questions or you want to know my opinions on things, because I don't want to sit here and talk about it in full detail, simply because I'm going to be making that special video for DSP Reacts in the next day. Okay, so I'll save my full opinions for over there. But that's definitely something we'll be doing on the show today. In addition, today I'm jumping back into Street Fighter 6 at a competitive way. This is actually the first time since, holy crap, I'm trying to think. Well, I guess technically Sunday. That's right. It was actually not as long as I thought. Sunday was when I played with Minot, but it did not go very well. All right. Today, I'll be playing with Marisa. And I looked into Marisa overnight. I was looking for some tech videos. And the problem right now, particularly with Street Fighter 6, is that there's like data overload. Like you go to look for content and you don't know who to watch. You don't know what to look at for practical stuff. You know, if you're going to be watching high-end stuff, it very well might even not apply to the kind of gameplay you're going to do. Reason being, when you see two high-end players playing, guess what they're not going to be doing? Throwing out random drive impact, right? Instead, what you're going to see is safe moves into dash rush or drive rush, which is, I call it dash cancel because it's essentially what it is, but it's called drive rush. And all you do is see drive rush combos constantly. And that's all well and good when you're playing at high level, but when you're just trying to learn the basics of a character, the drive rush stuff doesn't even come into play. Like, that's something you would do down the line. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to learn, like, basics, and, you know, basically I know what Marisa's anti-airs are, which is nice to have a good starting point. I don't really know what her mid-range combo ability is yet, but I think that, you know, hopefully today I do better with her than I did with Minot. At least from what I can see, Marisa is a good mid-range character, good combo ability, decent maneuverability, and, you know, has a few tricks. So instead of it just being, oh, I need to try to find a setup into a throw mix-up, instead she has, like, options, which is good to have options, because every time I was trying to do throw mix-ups with Minot, it didn't work too well, as I was talking about the other day. I'm excited to try Marisa today. We're going to do as we've done previously. We're going to do the guide. Then we're going to do combo trials. And then what I think we'll do for at least the first few matches, we're going to try casual play. This is something I haven't even touched in Street Fighter 6 yet. All right? But 2 days ago, when I played Minot and I tried to do the ranked, it was absolutely ridiculous. They threw me into the fire. The wolves were devouring me before I even knew basic moves with the character. So it doesn't really make sense to be trying to do that right off the bat. I think we'll do a little bit of casual play, try to get my bearings, at least understand the neutral bread and butter stuff that I'll be doing with this character, and then jump into ranked, okay? So I guess we'll see as I play today how it goes, and hopefully I do better. Like, the truth is, what I'm trying to do as I play through the entire cast of Street Fighter 6, I'm trying to find the characters that I think are going to be characters that I want to invest more time in, all right? Characters like JP, DJ, I don't think I want to go back and play again. Just being honest, you know, playing with them once or twice is like, meh. You know, you got characters like maybe Honda or Minot. Maybe I'll go back and play them again. But characters like Blanca, Lily, Dalsim, I've really enjoyed, and I definitely want to play again, you see? So by doing this, I'm basically getting a listing of characters by playing the variety, you know, the whole roster, that I know I want to go back, and when I do these more open multiplayer sessions in the future, I'll say, okay, maybe I'll do an hour of this character, an hour of this character, and an hour of this character, because I know which ones I want to play with more. Now, I will say this. It's absolutely funny, because there is completely different attitudes towards my gameplay of Street Fighter 6 right now, okay? When I'm live on stream, and I look at the stream chat and your guys' direct feedback when I'm streaming, here's what I see. You ready? Get online, play online, jump online. Why is he in guide mode? What is he doing in training mode? Get online and play. You've got to play online, play online, play online, play online. Okay? But then, when you read the comments on the videos, you see things such as, man, if only he had spent more time in training mode to learn more basics, to learn more bread and butter combos, to learn more standard things to do from neutral, he wouldn't be getting bodied online every match. He rushed out of training mode into an online ranked environment, and that's why he's losing so much. And it's frustrating because we know that if he just played a little more and practiced a little more before he went online, he'd actually do better. But instead, we've got a 3-hour session where it's 2 hours of him getting spanked, and it's not very entertaining. So you want to talk about a difference in attitudes between the audience I have on a stream versus the audience I have on demand. It's complete night and day. All right. Another change in attitude or difference in attitude that I can say is there's definitely been a lot of demand to see me do variety of characters, because what people are saying is we want to see you play the whole cast and see which characters are more your forte or more to your liking. Others are saying you've already screwed up. Okay? You've literally already messed up, because what all the top pro players are doing is they've already selected their 1 or 2 characters that they want to play with, and they've only been focusing on those characters for a week and a half to 2 weeks since the game's been out, and they're going high level. They're doing all the drive cancel combos. They've got all these high level strategies worked out. You've only played each character once, and then in the case of Blanca, Dalsim, and Lily, you've played them, 3 times each, but only like an hour each time. So you've got like 1/20th of the experience of those who are actually trying hard to get good at the game, and you're never going to be able to hang in the game because of that. Okay? Now here's the thing. I can understand like both sides of this reasoning. On one side, I'm a streamer, I'm a content creator, I'm a variety streamer, by the way, and I'm out to entertain, all right? I need to be able to entertain an audience and listen to what that audience wants and give you what you want, correct? And I feel it's entertaining to see me try the different characters. Even if I lose, at least you're seeing variety of gameplay, correct? Because let's say, for example, day 1 I started with Blanca, and I liked Blanca, and I decided I wanted to play more Blanca. Imagine if, since day 1, I've only used Blanca and 2 other characters, but I mostly just play Blanca every single time I play online. Now, what would you have seen? You probably would have seen higher level gameplay. You would have seen a lot more wins. Hell, my Blanca might have hit Diamond or even Master level by now, and you would have seen some crazy, drive cancel combos and things getting better and better because I'm using the same character for an extended period of time. Probably I would have gotten better at countering drive impact and things like that, right? But you would have seen tons of Blanca. And that's it. As of today, now that I'm going to play Marisa today, this will be 9 characters that I've played. That's half the cast within a 2-week period. That's pretty darn good, I would think, especially for a competitive game like this, to be able to say, hey, I've actually tried out half the cast of the game so far, I think is a pretty good accomplishment for me covering the game, no? And again, it's not, I just went online and mashed buttons. It's I actually tried to learn strategies and moves with these characters. Did I get bodied a lot with Minot? I did, but I did win some matches that were actually entertaining. So I'm trying to provide you with that level of variety and that level of entertainment, because that's what I told you from day 1 when I was going to cover Street Fighter 6, that I was out to have fun with the game and entertain you. I wasn't out to become a competitive level player. And I think that's where a lot of people's mentalities have changed when it comes to fighting games. It seems like for most people online, or in particular who are covering these games, it's either you're getting competitive or you're not playing. I do feel like this is a huge thing in the FGC. Like if you're playing Street Fighter 6 but you're not attempting to get competitively good, then you're either wasting your time or you're not worth watching. I think that's ridiculous, okay? This mentality came about back in the Street Fighter 4 days when content creation was becoming prominent on the internet, 13, 14 years ago. And when Street Fighter 4 came out, okay, the mentality was thus. Well, here's all these pro players playing Street Fighter 4, but it's not particularly entertaining to watch. It's informative, and it's interesting at a tournament level to see the high-level strategies. But it's just not that entertaining. The commentary that these people were adding wasn't funny or interesting. It was more, informative. It's kind of like back in the day how I approach content was different than other people. When I started doing my playthroughs on YouTube, they were meant to be entertaining with improv commentary. They weren't walkthroughs. They weren't meant to be, watch this video to learn how to play the game. It was watch this video to laugh and have a good time. That was the difference between what I was putting out and what everyone else was. So when I approached Street Fighter 4, I wasn't approaching it from the standpoint of, I need to educate the masses on how to play this game at a high level. Instead, it was, how do I mess around with this game and make entertaining content for my viewership that people are going to enjoy and want to come back? So I did Dan Madness, Blanca Madness, Ryu Madness, Balrog Madness. These online sessions where I would pick a character and play with them for like 2-3 hours and pump out a bunch of content, and then move on to another character. I didn't just focus on one character. I was all over the place with the game trying to showcase all the different things that different characters could do. Now, the funny part was I never really played most of those characters at a high level. Absolutely not. I would actually say it was mid to low level, right? But the funny part was my coverage of Street Fighter 4 back in the day got more attention and viewership than the pros. And the pros got pissy with me and actually started to hate on me because my content was more popular than theirs, and they were trying so hard to get competitive at this game, and I wasn't. I didn't give two shits about being competitive at the game. I was just looking to put a smile on someone's face and give them a laugh with my commentary when I was winning or losing. So that's why there was so much shit talk, and there was so much kind of... People say, oh, he's so toxic. No, it was supposed to be funny, and it was. People laughed at that shit and found it very, very funny and entertaining back in the day. Today, oh, it's so toxic that someone would talk like that, right? So, I don't really do that anymore, only because attitudes have changed. People don't seem to get the joke anymore, which is kind of sad when you really think about it, that things have changed so much you can't even, joke around when you're playing online. But that's just how it was back then, okay? Now, things have obviously changed. I am not a prominent content creator anymore. It's funny because when I say that, people say weird things no, I'm not. I'm not popular. Guys, the videos I put out barely get 1,000 views, if that. You understand that, right? Even for a big playthrough, half the time my videos don't get 1,000 views. I don't get anyone, any viral crowds watching my stuff. If anything, it's always for a bad reason, a negative reason. It's for something stupid that I didn't even do or is taken out of context because people just want to be toxic about me. I've come to terms and grips with this reality. You understand that? The truth is, though, I still enjoy what I do. I know that I have enough of an audience that enjoys what I'm doing, that I'm going to keep going, and you guys support me enough that you allow me to keep doing it for a living. You get it? So it doesn't matter that I don't have a giant viral group of people watching me anymore like back in the day. Like, no exaggeration, when I used to do the Madness series of Street Fighter 4, those videos each would get thousands upon thousands of views, and I'd put out 30 of them in a session. So I'd be getting, in one session of Street Fighter 4, several 100,000 views. I barely get that in a whole month now on YouTube. You understand that, right? So things have definitely changed over the years, all right? But I realize that my audience is not a competitive Street Fighter audience. Most of you who are here, all right, are here to be entertained and have fun with me. Now, would you enjoy to see me get better at this game? I would assume so. I assume you don't want to see me just flub it and suck constantly for the rest of the lifetime of this game. And by the way, this game likely is going to have legs because it's being so well accepted here at launch. I get the feeling this game is going to last another 7 years, just like Street Fighter 5 did, right? So obviously, you want to see me improve. You want to see me get better, right? And I want to, by the way. I want to get better at the game. If I'm going to continue to play it, I certainly don't want to be someone who's just scrubbing it at the bottom and losing 9 times out of 10 and never learning and never advancing. I want to get better at the game. But I feel like right now we're still in the early infancy of my content of this game because I haven't even played half the cast yet. As of today, I will have actually played half the cast, correct? And so, I get, like I said, I understand both reasonings. On one side, people are like, just play it for fun, play a variety of characters, continue to show us what you're doing. We like how you're doing it. Even if you're losing, you're still entertaining us. On the other side, man, you've completely done it the wrong way. Everyone else playing this game is doing it different than you. They're all focused on a couple characters, and they're doing really well because they played those characters for 2 weeks now. They're doing advanced combos, drive cancel stuff. You haven't even done drive cancels with any of your characters because you only play them for a couple hours. You don't get to that point. Fair enough. I mean, that's completely correct. I can't even dispute that rationale or that reasoning or what some people are saying about the content, So I guess the question is, where is the happy medium? Is it that I'm going to continue to play with the rest of the cast? Because we're going to have 9 characters as of today. The good news is, as of today, I've played with all 4 new characters. JP, Lily, Minot, and Marisa. And the real reason I needed to do that is because I told you guys, we're going to be doing things like tier maker rankings of Street Fighter characters and stuff coming up. And if I hadn't played the new characters, how on earth was I going to rank them? Right? Now, because I've played everyone new, now I can actually judge for for myself, and we can actually do events like that, which will be quite fun. You know, the tier maker stuff's great, and I've been looking forward to doing tier maker stuff with you guys again. It's been a little bit, you know, but we're gonna get back into it. Okay, so oh yeah, Jamie is new as well, Stealthy Kupo. That's correct, and I did play Jamie in the beta, so I have played Jamie, you know, to some extent. I forget. You know, it's weird that I keep having stuck in my head there's only 4 new characters, when in reality there's more than 4. I think the reason is because always in these games, usually Capcom will release 4 new characters. Like in Super Turbo, or excuse me, in Super Street Fighter 2, it was the new challengers, 4 new characters. So I have it like ingrained in my head there's only 4. But you're right. I think is there 5 in this one? 5 new characters? Anyway, so today's Marisa, and then after this, okay, I guess the question is, how do we want to continue to approach the game? Because I'm still playing it a lot. But the question is, when I move forward, what's the next step? Do I continue to try a new character and move forward? Or do I now focus on the 9 characters that I've tried? Hyper focus in on the ones that I feel are ones I like and try to get better, right? What do I do? What is the ideal situation right now? Is there even an ideal situation? Or is it really like it doesn't matter which way I go, there's going to be disappointed people and there's going to be happy people? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure which way to go at this point. Because later on this week, I could just do multiplayer sessions where, okay, today I'm going to play a whole multiplayer session with Zangief and try to get better with him. And then the next day, okay, today I'm going to play with Dalsim and try to get better with him. And then, oh, I'm going to use Marisa again and try to get better with her. You see, I could do that. And that's perfectly valid gameplay, and that's going to make me better at the game. Or do I continue to keep trying the cast? Because we're halfway through now. I mean, if you do the math, it would probably take me about another week and a half to 2 weeks, maybe the rest of the month, to have played with each cast member kind of once and messed around with them. Oh, Jasper, here we go with this. No, I can't sit on my lap when I'm doing the podcast. It's just so silly. You know, what do we do? What's the proper answer? And I guess what I need is I need your feedback. I want to hear your feedback on this. What is the split? Is there a split? Is the split that some people think I should do it this way, some people I should do it that way? I don't know how to go about it, okay? And the thing is, I'm never going to get better at this game if I don't focus in on playing certain characters over and over. And will it come to a point where, you know, it's entertaining to watch the competitive nature, but now it's not fun to watch for a casual viewer anymore because now I'm not using new characters, right? I don't know. I really don't know at this point. I don't have the answers. But it's interesting that I'm seeing this split amongst my viewer base, that especially the stream viewers seem to want online play and seem to want variety. The on-demand viewers are saying, no, you're not getting better at the game. You must focus in. You must get better at the game. It's like, so I don't know which way to go with this, right? So let's talk about it. Let's see what you guys think. Perhaps you'll give me your opinions on today's show here, on what exactly it is you'd like to see. Jasper, I just said you're not going to sit on my lap, so I hope you're not going to try again. You know, and go from there, because I really don't know what the proper. If this were back in the day, he sat on my lap again. If this were back in the day, I would continue to do variety. I would not give a crap about getting so much better at the game. I would just say, we're going to use every character, and we're going to go through it like that, and within 2-3 weeks, we'll have played most of the cast, and, you know, then maybe I'll do some series after that. But I absolutely, Jasper, come on. I absolutely think that right now, we're in a situation that's a little confusing, right? It was funny, because yesterday actually asked me the question, or someone asked me the question on yesterday's podcast, have you plateaued? I'm like, plateaued? I don't even feel like I've put time into it to learn yet. Outside of incredible basics, how can you say I've plateaued? Like, that's crazy. Like I said, am I even actively parrying yet? Not really. Very little. Have I done drive rush yet? No, I haven't. I haven't even learned how to basically counter drive impact yet. How could I have plateaued with my skill level? That's crazy to say. So, the plan for this week is today it's Marisa. Tomorrow it's a variety stream, and I think tomorrow what I'll probably try to do... Jasper, would you please stop? Stop trying to crawl on my lap. Tomorrow's going to be a variety stream where I'll probably play more Zangief, because I liked Zangief the other day, and I was getting better with him. Plus, I watched, like, one video of Zangief and already learned a few strategies that I think will be good to implement in future gameplay, okay? So probably more Zangief, more Minot, which, yes, I want to try Minot, but the problem is I can't find tech for her that makes sense, because the high-level tech is too... The high-level tech for Minot is like so much drive rush stuff And the drive rush stuff is something I can't do yet till I learn the basics. So I'm not learning watching the high-level Minot videos because it's too much, oh, do this insanely advanced tactic that mixes up a high-level player, right? But the funny part is if I try that against low-level players, they'll just do unsafe shit right through it and blow through it and beat me. I wonder if anyone even understands what that means. Allow me to elaborate just for a second. When you're playing a competitive fighting game, okay, there's essentially two levels. There's scrub level, where people are just so not conscious of how to really play the game, they throw anything out there as a Hail Mary, even as unsafe as it is, all right? The problem is, because you're playing like that, a person who has a competitive mindset usually doesn't expect it and therefore doesn't plan for it. You'd think they're going to do anything but what they just did, because what they just did is so ridiculously risky and unsafe and doesn't make sense from a competitive standpoint. So it's funny, when you're a higher level player with a competitive mindset, you can actually get thrown for a loop by a noob because the noob isn't thinking the way you are. Do you understand? But then, when you're playing high level, people tend to be way more conservative with the amount of things that they try to do. And they're not going to throw out giant Hail Mary reversal level 3 supers. They're not going to do wake up Shoryuken if it means that they can lose the round if you block it. So because of that, now some things end up being more safe to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you know they're not going to do this giant Hail Mary move out of nowhere, you could probably do this other kind of mix-up game. And it's like this for every fighting game, by the way. But a lot of people don't get that because they don't understand the difference. That's why it's funny when I'll be playing a game online and I'll say, oh my God, they threw out a random level 3 super and I can't believe I'm going to lose because of it. And people are like, ha ha, you see, you suck. You got beaten by the noob tactic. I'm like, well, actually what it is I'm not expecting them to do something insanely unsafe, because if I block that, I win the match for free. So why would they do it? And then you don't think they're going to do it, and then they do it. You see? You could get beaten by that. Because it really is random when they do shit like that. It's so random. Oh, giant reversal out of nowhere or whatever, you see? But that's what I mean. Like, I'm trying to learn this game from a competitive standpoint, and I get beaten by basic stuff. But when I'm watching high-level gameplay of Minot or other characters, they're not doing the crazy, random, risky stuff. So you're not learning the basics of the character. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to figure out what tech am I watching? Whose videos do I watch? And I did ask a few people, hey, could you send me some Minot videos? And no one did. So I was just kind of, you know, winging it. Trying to find stuff on social media, trying to find stuff on YouTube. And it's like, it's tough right now. For someone who's not just hyper-focused on the competitive nature of this game, it actually is tough. You know, coming out of not even playing Street Fighter V at all. How many people are trying to play Street Fighter 6 who skipped Street Fighter V? Not many, you know? So it's tough for me, but I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to adapt, and I want to get better, you know? So tomorrow, I'll probably do Zangief, Minot, and Marisa, maybe an hour each, okay? Then next week, the question is, what do I do? That is the question. Do I go back to characters like Blanca, Lily, Dalcine, and play more of them? Do I continue to play with Zangief, maybe Minot, Marisa? I don't know how Marisa's going to go today. If I like Marisa, I want to play more. I'll have to see. Or do I continue to try new characters? Because I can't do both. That's the thing. With the time constraints I have, I'm not just playing Street Fighter 6 nonstop like a lot of these people who are playing the game and trying to get better at it. So because I'm not playing it nonstop, that means that I have limited time, and the question is, how do I use that time effectively, right? Would you prefer to continue to see me to try new characters, but that means that I'm not going to get better at the game immediately? Or would you like to see me just start picking on those characters that I've used already and try to get better with them? So that's really a key factor that we kind of need to determine moving forward, all right? Let's talk about that today and moving forward with Street Fighter 6 coverage, okay? So there you go. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what you guys have to say about that. But today I'm excited for Marisa. I hope I learn. I hope I can do well with her. I need a character, another new character to add to kind of the repertoire that I get. I think Zangief is good, but I don't think that he's going to be tops in this game. I just don't see it. With the way that they've built this character, seems more like he's a character that needs to capitalize on the opponent making mistakes rather than having any kind of effective strategies for himself. And that's really reliant on an enemy who doesn't know how to face him. While it seems like if someone really knows about what Zangief's capable of, he's going to have an insanely rough time getting anything going. So, okay. So, there you have it. That's Street Fighter 6 coverage coming up. I have one other quick thing I want to talk about before we like move on to like shout outs and the like. Um, there is a big issue going on with PayPal right now. It's not the end of the world. It's kind of like just an annoying thing. All right. To give you an example, let me take a quick look right now. All right, at my PayPal account. You might say, I wonder why Phil's doing that. Why is Phil checking his PayPal account live on the stream? Usually he does live shout outs for contributions. So what's going on? Okay, I'm going to tell you what's going on right now. PayPal is all screwed up. Here's what's going on. They are not sending out notifications at all for contributions coming in until, I'm not kidding you, 12 plus hours later. So yesterday, last night on my Diablo stream, I'm streaming and people are contributing, but I'm not shouting anything out. Instead, I'm playing the game, I'm having fun, I'm chilling with the audience, and over an hour has passed, and I said to everyone, man, I guess it's kind of a slow night. What are you going to do? I guess some of the hype for Diablo's died out or whatever. To which someone says, no, Phil, I tipped you. Please check. And I go and look. Lo and behold, a bunch of people had contributed. And I'm like, well, I feel bad now. Because here I am publicly saying this is a slow night. And in reality, it wasn't a slow night at all. It's that I'm not getting notifications for anything. So I had to manually go into my PayPal and shout out all of the contributions. Overall, the night was outstanding. The amount of support I got for Diablo last night was off the charts, actually. So I was very pleased with how it went. So I go to sleep. And I wake up this morning, and this morning at 7 a.m. it said all the emails had come through for last night's Diablo stream that took place between 7 and 9 p.m. So it took 12 hours for PayPal to send out notifications that I got tips, okay? It was funny because then I got an email from one of the people who had tipped and said, yeah, I just got the notification that says that my tip went through to you. And it's like 12 hours later. So now I understand what you were going through. Sorry that, that happened. And now I understand why you didn't shout out right away. Right? So what's funny is, as you guys know, I get overnight tips. And I got an overnight tip from Game Checker. We're going to shout it out in a bit. And he usually sends it, kind of early morning. I don't even know where, obviously I don't know where he lives or whatever, but maybe a different time zone. Who knows? But he sends me tips overnight for the Street Fighter stuff. And usually I wake up in the morning and I get a notification for it and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I have it now. And I know I have a tip to shout out first thing. No notification this morning. And I'm like, I guarantee you he sent me a tip. And I go, and he did. I didn't get the notification. As I'm sitting here right now doing this podcast, I just got the notification in my email. And now I said, I guarantee you someone else tipped me. I just went and checked. Yes, I got another tip this morning. No notification come through. So essentially, this is not dependable at all. Okay? At all. This is all screwed up at this point. So what I'm going to have to do, and I know this sucks, because this is really going to stink having to do it this way. Until PayPal figures out what the hell their problem is, what this sounds like is an API issue. Do you know what that means? So when you have a business, and your business ties into various data feeds, okay? If your data feed gets broken, then a whole bunch of things break and don't work right. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I used to have a third-party website that had a plugin that worked with my YouTube page, DSPGaming. And what you could do on my website is you could type into a search engine and you could bring up any of my playthroughs or playlists from the entire history that I had made content on the internet. Now, this was a long time ago. So this was like 2016, 2015. So you were talking, 6 to 7 years of content you could search. And actually, the search engine worked better than YouTube search engine because it would just be for my content. It would work super good. One day, after this working for like 2 years, YouTube decided we're no longer going to send out any data like that anymore. And they turned a switch, and overnight the website didn't work. And a lot of fans, hundreds of my fans, who used to use that website were very upset. They're like, this is what we use to find all your stuff. This is our index. What do we do? And I said, yeah, you got to use YouTube now. And that sucks because YouTube is junk. But I guess YouTube just decided they want everyone using theirs, so they turned off the data feeds. And so my website stopped working. And since then, that website has fallen into disrepair. DSPGaming.com, I almost never use it for anything. It's just a forum now that's basically kind of like a ghost town. It used to be thriving. But when that API died and YouTube stopped sending out that data, really I found less and less reason to use the site anymore. So now it's like pretty much unused. And that's sad. So what it sounds to me like is that PayPal has this API that when a contribution comes into your PayPal, it's supposed to sync with all these services and eventually send you an email to say, hey, here's your contribution, here's what you just got as a payment for your business or whatever it may be, right? And it sounds like it's broken. How is it taking 12 plus hours to tell me something came in? I can imagine there must be businesses that are pretty upset, because imagine if you rely on that to know when you got a payment for your business and you're just not getting it. How are you supposed to operate, right? So that's messed up. I would hope that they're going to fix it, because the way that I do it is I monitor my various feeds here for data on what contributions I'm getting, and then I shout out the contributions. But if it's not updating, right, then that means that I'm going to have to every once in a while, every so often, just manually go into my PayPal account of my own volition, not even no notification to tell me something's going on. But I'm just going to have to keep going in manually and saying, is it, did I get anything? If I did, can I shout it out, play an animation? But it sucks. I like having it come in and then have a queue where I can say, oh, here's a bunch of stuff that came in. Let's shout out this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. But apparently I'm not going to get any kind of notification for anything. Case in point, today might be rough because I'm playing competitive Street Fighter. You know what happens once I go online. Once I go online, I just get tunnel vision into competitive Street Fighter. I want to get right to that next match. I want to keep playing, right? And because of that, it essentially makes it that I forget half the time to shout out anyway, even when I have the notifications, right? So now imagine me, I have to remember to manually start checking, right? So it's going to be rough, but I'm going to do my best. Obviously on the podcast here, it's a little easier because I can check manually from time to time and do these shout outs. But what really sucks is when I'm in the midst of gameplay and I might not be getting these heads ups that I need, right? It's really annoying. That's interesting. That's interesting, and I think Slayer's going to be pretty upset. So yeah, I think Slayer's going to be pretty upset. I don't know how this is going to work, but as you know, I do private react videos, and basically the private react videos are different every month for different people. Slayer always seems to have me do private reacts about K-pop, okay? And this month was no different. I did the private react videos Sunday night, and the private react that I did this month was interesting. I was reacting to a documentary about K-pop that was on YouTube, a while ago. Yeah, hold on. Let me refresh here. Check something out. Because this happened live, like literally live. Yeah, he can't. Look at that. So, basically what was happening was, Slayer wanted me to react to this K-pop documentary that was done 2 or 3 years ago on YouTube. And what it is, it's the history of K-pop, where you can learn all about K-pop. And the interesting part, it was that I've watched K-pop music videos now for a year, private reacts for Slayer. And now to learn the history of how the industry emerged and stuff is fascinating, right? But the funny part about it is, I did this react and it was fine. Guess what just happened? They just blocked it. 2 days later. I put this out Sunday night. It's now, Tuesday morning, so about a day and a half later. They just decided they wanted to block it. Yeah. Which is very interesting, because a judge has ruled that React content is a transformative work that is protected under fair use law, and it's valid content. Therefore, no one has a right to block a React piece of content on YouTube at all. All right? But apparently, whoever made the documentary decided they don't want anyone reacting to it and blocked the video that I made. So, they really have no legal right to do that per U.S. courts, but I can't stop them. What they did is they used YouTube's system to block the video. I'm curious what Slayer's going to want to do moving forward, because that's unfortunate. You know, he wants me to do the whole documentary. It's 8 parts. I've reacted to 2 out of 8. I wanted to see the rest of the documentary, but it very well might be that I can't. It's not going to be something that's going to be viable to do on YouTube, because YouTube seems like they're going to let this company do whatever they want. You know, so the truth is, it doesn't affect me because the video was already uploaded. Slayer already saw it, and he downloads it himself to do whatever he wants with. So he has that video. And I don't know if he re-uploaded it to his own channel or if he's just watching it for himself. That's his prerogative to do whatever he wants. When you have a private video or react that you get from me because of Patreon, that's how it works. Like, it's your property. So you can do whatever you would want to do with it. So it could just be his own video just for him, which is fine. He can watch it for himself. But if he wanted to put that on his channel, it looks like he can't do it anymore. So if that was the whole intention, then sadly he might have to change his ideas of what he wants me to do for private reacts. I think he wanted me to do the whole series over the next several months, and it looks like YouTube ain't gonna allow it. Maybe there'd be another place that would allow it. I don't know. You know? See, for me, it looks like I could upload it, and then he'll have a day or two to get it before YouTube blocks it. So I guess he could do it anyway, and then if he wants to re-upload it to a third-party site that won't care about that shit, that actually cares about fair use law, there's other video sharing websites out there, you know, that don't care about that shit. They're not going to let some company just abuse the law. You know? See, there's, I guess, I don't know. I guess it's a gray area. I guess it's a gray area. Or is it a gray area? Because the judge ruled that React content was valid and was considered fair use. At the same time, you can't just take, like, a mainstream movie and re-upload it to YouTube and comment over it. So, I don't know. I wonder, I guess there has to be some legal criteria about what's allowable and what's not. Right? I don't know. What are you going to do? It sucks because I really like that documentary. I don't even know if, like I said, if Slayer had uploaded it yet, but I really liked it. Actually, I was learning a ton about the history of this music biz and how it ran parallel. K-pop runs completely parallel to American music. The same trends and things were essentially happening, and it's unique to see that in another part of the world, they were essentially doing the same things we were doing over here, but we didn't know about it. In the United States, you didn't hear about any of these other countries. It was like we were the only country on the planet. All you would hear about was our musicians, our groups. You would not hear about anyone outside the U.S. It was a rarity that you would hear that. So, to me, it's kind of wild that it's just all this information that you never heard of, and now it's like, wow, yeah, there's a whole new world out there, that stuff that was happening that I wasn't even aware of. It was fascinating, but anyway, that sucks. So, Slayer, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Obviously, you know, nothing I can do about that. When YouTube blocks a video, they block a video. I can't control that, right? It's like, sucks, but, you know, what can you do? That's life, I guess. So, anyway. So we got all kinds of stuff going on. Well, how am I going to continue with my Street Fighter 6 coverage? I don't know. Do I keep doing new characters, or do I focus in on characters that I've played and liked and want to get better with? I don't know what you guys want. I don't know what the better option is for my content moving forward. The PayPal thing's annoying. I'm just going to have to manually check and do manual shout-outs until PayPal fixes their shit. I don't know when they're going to fix their shit. It seems like right now it's dramatically lagging, and today in particular will be a tougher day for me as I have to give shout-outs while I'm playing the competitive gameplay, and I'm probably going to get caught up and forget to check, and it's going to be frustrating. You know, what can I do? But I guess that's life. You roll with the punches, correct, everybody? All right, real quick, let's go through a schedule. Today, it's Marisa in Street Fighter 6, and then tonight, it's the return of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm actually excited for tonight because it seems like we're going to be approaching the third major dungeon of the game, which is the Goron dungeon, for me anyway. I'm currently under Death Mountain in the underground area, and I'm heading towards this area that I think the dungeon will be in. I hope we reach it and can do some of it tonight. I don't know if we'll beat it, but it would be great to be able to do this dungeon tonight. So that's neat. That's the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Then tomorrow, It's going to be more Street Fighter 6, and this will be the variety stream where I will choose characters I've already used and use them online. Notably, it'll probably be Zangief, Minot, and Marisa. And then tomorrow night will be more Diablo 4. We actually are trying to make major story progress. Last night we did. I'm going to keep pushing for that. I've actually told it makes more sense to play this game and try to just get to like chapter 3 in the story, because then the game really opens up, and then there's so much content to do. You could go optional and do stuff that makes sense, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I'm off on Thursday, and then basically what it'll be is a combination of stuff over the next week. You know, the React show is on Saturday as usual, right? And go from there. So good variety. It's gonna be Street Fighter 6, the continuation of both Diablo and Zelda next week. React show on Saturday, and this is a 5-day streaming week next week. And that's the push towards Final Fantasy 16, which is coming out on the 22nd. That's the next major release I'm covering, and I'll be balancing that with Street Fighter 6 on day streams. Okay? All right. Gaming news. Really, the gaming news is all around these digital presentations. Since we're going to talk about that already, I feel like I should do shout-outs first, and then we'll get to that portion of the show. So let's start with YouTube shout-outs. Our first contribution of the day is from Barely Legal. A $5 super chat. Thank you, Barely Legal. They said the following. I really like your approach to Street Fighter 6 so far. You've been thorough and pure with the game. Well, I am trying to cover the game in a way that appeals to different people. You know, you might like a certain style of character, and maybe if I'm playing with that character, it entertains you. If I had only played Ryu and Guile, imagine if you don't like characters that are all projectile gameplay, you know what I mean? Or rushdown gameplay, you never would have seen the variety of gameplay the game has to offer, and probably wouldn't have liked my coverage, right? So that's why I am striving to try to do variety for you guys. And I certainly hope that you're enjoying the way that I've been covering it up to this point at least. So thank you, Barely Legal. DubH13 did a $5 super chat. It says, I think with the Capcom Cup first place being $1 million, people are going sweaty thinking that they have a chance, and they don't. And they don't. I hate to say it, that whole thing is a trap. It really is. There is no way that the vast majority of people will ever have a chance in competitive Street Fighter. Just the way that the system's set up, the way that there's people who've been out there doing this for a living for a long time, and they are able to thrive in that environment and that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you some perspective. Back in the day, okay, before there were teams, before there was money, all right, competitive Street Fighter was a different entity entirely, all right? And the funny part was that when you went to a tournament, you would see people who had like this crazy amount of skill, and they would have all these strategies and things, but it seemed that at least back then, almost always, the same group of people were the people who were at every tournament and won them all. And you would say, well, why? Right? And the reason was because it was people who essentially had a life or lifestyle where they could live the competitor's life. What does that mean? It means you can literally drop everything in your personal and private life to play Street Fighter. All you do is you're traveling. You're playing people from all over the country. You're constantly flying, living in hotels, living out of hotels, staying with other people, you know, bumming stays at their houses and things, playing people from all over the country, right? That was the only way that you could actually competitively hang in Street Fighter. It wasn't even necessarily about I have the best skill and execution. It was I have the lifestyle that allows me to play the most and see the most and therefore be exposed to the most so I can beat it all. And that was kind of a really interesting thing to see, because I knew people who had absolutely positively crazy amounts of like natural talent at Street Fighter, but the most they would ever do is win one tournament here or there, and then they couldn't do it. They would go to like Evo and lose. And you say, well, why? Because they didn't have that opportunity like these other people to constantly be flying around and doing what they were doing. There's a few people, I'm not going to, if I name names, the problem is people will take it as a negative. I'm not necessarily saying this is a negative. I'm just saying this is how it was. There was a few people who you knew that their parents were paying their fucking way for everything they did. They didn't have a job. They were just playing fucking Street Fighter non-stop. And they were flown everywhere. Everything was paid for. You know what I'm saying? And they were at every... How the fuck is it that there was a tournament in Connecticut, a tournament in New York, a tournament in Texas, a tournament in Chicago, a tournament in Las Vegas, a tournament in California, and a tournament in Bumblefuck, Tennessee, and the person was at every one? How the fuck did you afford that? How, you know what I mean? How are you there at every tournament winning? How the fuck, you know, it doesn't make sense. By the way, there were no sponsorships, no partnerships, nothing back then. So no one was paying their way besides their fucking parents, all right? So that was what it was like. There was a large group of people back in the day that was the deal, is that you knew if you went to a tournament, even if you were the best player there, you're not in that mindset where you've played everyone, you've seen every level of competition or whatever. You know what I mean? And I almost feel like, and to that extent, that's what it's going to be like for people trying to win like Capcom Pro Tour. If you're on a team, if you have the sponsorship, if you have the ability to go out there and play nonstop, and literally you don't need to have a job or a life, because what you're doing is playing Street Fighter. That's your existence right now. Those are the people who are going to fucking win. Not, oh, I'm someone who's an up-and-comer, and I'm going to play online, I'm going to try to learn characters, and I have a chance. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Anyone who has a life, forget it. You're not winning. It's that simple. Like, there's no Cinderella story to be had here of the person who just stumbled upon Street Fighter 6. It was their first fighting game, and through natural talent, it's like Rocky. Through natural talent, no one knew who they were, but they challenged the big ones and they took them down. No, that's not possible. It's just not. There's no way you can do that because it's not feasible from a logistics standpoint. You need to have funding. You need to have freedom of time to become that level of competitor. You understand? And that's what I feel is funny. You know, Dub here. So many people are sweaty, thinking they have a chance. They don't. But you're right. I think what it is a lot of people, when a new fighting game comes out, especially one like this that's like hyped up, they're going to get so into it, you know? And what it is that reality hasn't slapped them in the face yet. You know, I've been there, done that. At one point, I was like that. Seriously, at one point during my competitive Street Fighter career, I was totally like that. And I was thinking in my mindset, you know, I have a chance. I have a chance to actually win EVO. I have a chance to be the best. I never had a chance. Never in a million years did I have a chance. I played, no exaggeration, I probably played 1/10 as much Street Fighter as those who were actually tournament winners in my prime and heyday. I was barely playing. I had a full-time job, responsibilities in my private life. I didn't have time to play Street Fighter all day, every day. I couldn't do it. So because of that, I didn't have a chance. It was a miracle. The stars aligned. In reality, the fact that I placed as high as EVO as I did, and then after that, I became prominent and known as a top ST player, and because I put in, for the next 2 years, I did put in a ridiculous amount of time and effort. The 1 year, I flew to every EVO qualifier. Every region had an EVO qualifier. I spent an insane amount of money flying to every single one to get to the level of competition that I was at that point. And even then, I couldn't do well at EVO finals. I won the qualifiers, and I lost at finals. You know? It's just not feasible, man. It's not, unless you have the ability to say, I have absolutely no responsibilities in my life. I have absolutely nothing that I need to pay attention to. I can just be hyper-focused on being a competitive Street Fighter player, and I have the funding to do it. Because it's not, you know, you're not rich. It's whoever's funding you to do this. Then you have a chance. If you're not one of those people, you're never winning. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how hard you try. The system's going to break you down. You know, I was there. I tried. It didn't work for me either. I tried hard, and, you know, that's kind of why I got kind of burnt out and jaded about competitive Street Fighter. Around 2007, here I am at EVO after having practiced all year, traveling to every qualifier, literally winning every qualifier or placing like top 3 in every qualifier that I entered. So I'm definitely one of the top Super Turbo players in 2007, all right? And I go to EVO, and the system breaks me down. I get put into a bracket where I'm playing with people who I'd already been practicing with, so they know my gameplay. It was done on purpose, by the way. It was rigged, which is fucked up, but this is probably the 10th time that happened to me. Those people out there don't like me. They never did. They always rigged the system against me because I was an outspoken guy. So here I am. I spent my entire year, all my money, all my time invested in competitive Street Fighter, and I'm at EVO 2007 just to go out to the same people who I was training with, right? It was literally a redo of B5, which I've told the story of, where I went to B5 and it was supposed to be the final Marvel vs. Capcom 1 tournament ever. So I get in this invitational tournament, and when I go there, they have me play the guy from Connecticut I flew in with, and Arturo Sanchez from New York City, who I play with every fucking week when I go to Chinatown Fair. I played no West Coast players. So what did I go for? It was the same situation at EVO 2007. So it's like, why do I care about this anymore? And it burned me out. And after that, did I cover Street Fighter 4? I did, but I became a casualized player. I didn't care about the competitive FGC. I didn't care about being good. Because what's the point? If the system's going to break you down anyway, if the odds are always against you, unless you're the golden boy or you know what I mean? Like you're the selected chosen one who's going to get all the favoritism, who's going to be able to get their way paid because they're essentially a pseudo celebrity, and you have the ability to drop everything in your fucking life to play nonstop, you're never going to win in that shit. You know? So there's just no point. There's just no point in really fucking going crazy over it. Enjoy fighting games for what they are. Don't be a tryhard. Just play and have fun. These people today are crazy. Like I said yesterday on the show. However, we're a week and a half into Street Fighter 6, and there's people who have mastered their character already to the point where if you make one mistake, they hit you with a 60% dash cancel punish combo. That shit used to be something you would figure out within a year of a fighting game being out. They figured it out in a week. So what are we supposed to do with this game for the next 3-4 years? You already figured it out in a week. It's insane how these people play these days, you know? Anyway, that was a lot of digression. But anyway, no. I hear what you're saying, Dub 13. You're probably right. That's why these people are sweating it so much. They think they're winning $1 million at Capcom Cup. No, they're not. It will absolutely be a notable player. It'll be someone everyone knows. It'll be someone who already has funding, who's part of a team. That's who's going to win Capcom Cup. No up-and-coming fucking Cinderella story. I'm Rocky, and I came out of nowhere, and I took on the greats, and I won. That's never happening. You know? That's just not... There's a system against you. There's an entire system set up to prevent that from happening. You're not winning. Sorry, I'm trying being so negative, but I'm just being a realist here. It's never going to happen. You know what I mean? It's always going to be someone already at the top. That's just how the system's always been set up. Okay, Jade, thank you so much for re-upping your ultra level membership for 2 years. Now you got your rose gold crown. I appreciate your support and being a chill part of the streams every day, Jade. Thank you for that. All right, so now let us get to tips. And as I said, the tips are so delayed. I have one notification to shout out, then I got to go into my PayPal manually to try to figure this out. So let's get started here, okay? So, I received a $29.99 tip from Game Tracker. And he says, well, first let's play his animation. Remember, he wants his Street Fighter animation, which is why he does $29.99 instead of $30. But I count it as $30 anyway, because I appreciate his support so much. And to be honest, the penny's not a big deal. Okay. Okay. So, Game Tracker says, "Goddamn, someday I'll be less busy. I wish I knew things would be slower at work. I just know," he said, I wish I knew when things would slow down at work. At least I'm lucky enough to have a job that's meaningful to me. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome that your job is meaningful to you, because a lot of people, sadly, can't even say that. I wouldn't trade this for almost anything, but it's funny, because back when I started watching you, I was still in college with no job prospects and no money. Goes to show how things can change sometimes. Anyway, luckily, I will have some time to catch up both on your Street Fighter 6 content from World Tour and Marisa later today on demand. So basically, Game Tracker has nothing really to say about today because he's busy. He didn't see World Tour from yesterday yet, and he's going to watch Marisa later. All right. Still, thank you, Game Tracker, for your ongoing support of my Street Fighter 6 coverage. It's very, very much appreciated. It has helped a ton. It really has. So thank you for that. Now, let's take a look here at... let's see here. Let's take a look and see if anything else has come in. I believe there's one other tip. Indeed, is a $5 tip from Big Papa Phil. I want to see what he has to say here. But let me go ahead and let's play the animation first. Okay. Big Papa Phil says, your Street Fighter 6 coverage has been great so far. Your fundamentals make a huge difference so far. You picked up wins while also learning new characters even when you're placed in a high rank. The right thing to do is to have streams featuring your mains so you'll continue to improve while also having streams where you learn a new character. Learning new characters also improve your matchup knowledge. Please split your time between the two. Maybe focus on your mains more. Yeah, I do feel like, it's gonna get to the point where if I am constantly just playing a new character, playing a new character, playing a new character, it will feel like I'm kind of spinning my wheels a little bit because I'll never make advancement. Already it's a week and a half into Street Fighter 6, and you're seeing whenever I play ranked, it's like these guys are fucking crazy, crazy try hard at this point. Oh my god, I press one kick and it whiffs because I'm trying to learn spacing for a new character. You whiffed? Oh, it's party time. Standing punch to punish. Dash cancel. Hit, special move. Dash cancel. Mix up. Hit, combo. Special move. Super move in the corner. You just lost 70% health because I pressed one button. Like, goddamn. We're a week and a half in, man. It's insane. So, you're right. Unless I really start to focus in on certain characters, holy shit, I'm never going to get better at this game when everyone else is already way past me, right? It's funny because an honest fan says just because they're better than you doesn't mean they're try harder. I mean, that's exactly what it means. It means they tried way harder to get better with one character. That's literally the definition of try hard, is you tried incredibly hard to get really good in a certain situation. You understand? Like, that's literally the definition. Now, try hard can be negative and positive. You could have different associations with that term, but that's literally the definition. So, good job there. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Genesis Gaming re-upped their membership for 15 months as next milestone. Good luck with Marisa. Thank you very much, Genesis. Congrats on hitting that. This is hilarious. An honest fan says, oh no, those could be casual players playing for fun. You act like everyone better than you is dedicating their life to the game. You honestly think that someone who's casually playing the game for fun has learned how to punish every whiffed move from neutral for a 70% damage combo? You believe that? You are an idiot. I mean, wow. That's tremendous stupidity. No, normal casual players have not mastered the game in a week and a half like that. You're nuts. You're really dumb. Okay. Felix the Maid has become a member for 8 months here and says you have to try Jury, and do you like lasagna? I tried Jury in the beta. To some extent, I was enjoying her, but then I switched it up and never went back. Maybe I will try her in this eventually. And I do like lasagna, indeed. Yes, I do. Okay, so, just to be safe, one more time, let me check tips, because again, the notifications aren't coming through. Alright? Okay, I've shouted out everything as of now. What I would say is let's open up the chat a bit. If you guys want to ask me a question, by all means, tag me in the chat. Please do. I assume some of you might want to be talking about, these digital events that have been happening. So that might be the discussion this morning. Or maybe you just want to talk about other things in general. Tag me in the chat. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. Meme Magician, no, it's not safe to eat an entire bottle of mustard in one sitting. I would say it's not safe to eat an entire bottle of anything in one sitting. That's not called moderation. That's called overindulgence, and you're going to get sick. Okay. Carl Johnson, how you doing? He says, how you doing today? I'm doing all right. It's a little warm because I didn't turn on my air conditioner. It's cool outside today, but it gets warm in this office, especially when I play fighting games. So I'm probably going to have to turn the air conditioner on at some point here, regardless. And, but for now, I'm trying to keep it off for the podcast, so. Thoughts on the Embracer Group announcement? Well, if I'm to understand it, the Embracer Group is a group of, it's a company that owns a bunch of game franchises, correct? And I think that what they did is they came out and they said, if I remember correctly, okay, they're basically scaling back, that they feel like they've really made bad strides in the wrong direction, and they're losing a lot of money because of it. So they're going to scale back, they're going to lay off a bunch of their people, and they're going to focus on things that to them feel like are major things that should be successful. For example, I think Embracer Group owns the rights to the Lord of the Rings franchise, yet they're not making any Lord of the Rings games. They got this you know, rinky-dink company pumping out shitty Gollum and fucking Moria games instead of them actually making quality Lord of the Rings games. So I think what they said is they're going to stop a lot of their efforts to make these other games that are pulled in other directions, and they're going to focus on more important, higher quality stuff, such as Lord of the Rings. Am I correct? Is that what Embracer Group has said? I think that's what I've gotten as the gist of it. Now, what do I think about that? I mean, thing is, Embracer Group, I'm not too familiar with what games they've put out. Could anyone say in the chat what games Embracer Group has put out? If there's a company that feels like they basically went way too diverse with what they were making, it could almost be like, you know, we made so much, but none of it was good. And what's the point? Would you rather have one really good game that's an IP that everyone likes, and it comes out and it's a big seller, or would you rather have 20 blah subpar games that don't do very well? Right? Right? So to me, that's the way I'm seeing it. And I don't know, like, if they make a bunch of good Lord of the Rings games, that'd be sweet. At the same time, do we really need a bunch of Lord of the Rings content right now? Especially coming off the heels of Gollum, right? I don't know. It's sad whenever a company announces they have to have layoffs, you know? That's just sad because, you know, those game devs aren't to blame. They're the ones doing the grunt work, trying to get those games out there. And it's sad that people lose their jobs because of management making bad decisions. I hate that. I hate that. Oh, the management's fucked the company, but it's the line level worker that gets hurt, right? You never hear, oh, management made a bunch of really bad decisions, so now the management is fired. It's funny how you never hear that, right? Even though they're the ones that did the wrong things, they don't get punished. The people under them do. It's really weird how that works, huh? But anyway, oh, Jasper, you surprised me. he rubbed my hand with his face and surprised me. I didn't realize he was here. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Like, what are they gonna do? I hope that too many people don't lose their jobs, but what can you do, right? I mean, if I'm understanding the situation, if not, let me know, okay? Ian did a super chat. He says, did you see what happened with Nick Merckx? Would you be mad if Capcom screwed you like Call of Duty screwed him? I have no idea what you're talking about. Can someone elaborate on that? Who is that? Nick Merckx? No, I don't know who that is. Can anyone explain that situation? CJ says, in gaming, it's a trickle-down situation. The crap just trickles right down to the workers. Oh, it's not just gaming. It's every corporation is like this. The people at the top make the awful decisions that ruin the company, and it's the people at the bottom that suffer, not them. The people in management still get bonuses and kickbacks and shit. How does that work? Is someone going to explain, or do we ignore the situation? I don't know anything about who is Nick Merckx. I've never heard of this person. They removed his skin collab of the store for Say Protect the Kids. Huh? He had a skin in Call of Duty. He said something that was taken as anti-trans and got the skin removed. So it's politics. Call of Duty took Nick's skin out of the game. He said LGBTQ should not be taught in school. It's confusing. Okay, can I ask a question? An honest question. All right? If you are someone who's in the game space, like your content, what your job is to make gameplay, all right, and entertain an audience, and you make a living doing it, and you have sponsorships, and you have collaborations, you have all these things, okay? Why would you talk about politics? And this is not a direct, like, slam against Nick Merckx. Please don't take it that way. But if you are reliant on this stuff to make a living, right? Then why would you do this? That's my question. Because by the way, I'm not going to say that I agree or disagree with his take at all, because I'm not a political guy. I'm not going to talk about that. My question is, why would you talk politics? Because this is what happens. This is exactly why you don't see me talking politics, even though I have none of that. Like, literally right now, I could stand here and say whatever I want, and it wouldn't matter. I have no sponsorships to lose. You understand? I have no sponsorships to lose. I have no partnerships to lose. I'm not doing any collaborations with other content creators that they'll say, oh, I can't work with you. It doesn't matter. I'm just me making my own content for my audience, you see? So, for me, It doesn't matter what I say. But for these people out there who their livelihood is very dependent on getting income from these kind of things, you would think you would say, I'm not going to dabble in that because it's too risky. Because at any point, someone could take something that I said in a way that they don't like, and they're going to spin it into cancel culture, and that's the end of me, right? It's happened a lot. And if that's the case, if what you're describing to me is exactly what really happened, sadly, I hate to say it, if you're someone who's a content creator reliant on a sponsorship, a partnership, and that kind of income, you have to swallow your opinions. You're not in the space to make political content. You're in the space to make gameplay. So make the gameplay, and sadly, you have to be quiet about everything else. Is that fair? I don't think so. I think everyone has a right to voice their opinion. And you should be able to, as they say, you should be able to separate the art from the artist. If someone is a great gamer at a game, and that's the content they put out that you enjoy, then why would you hate them because they have a political stance on something that you disagree with, right? But sadly, that's not reality in the United States right now. In the United States, it is everything you say and do, they're going to hold it against you, and they're going to make you, you're going to cancel you, right? I mean, shit, I'm playing fucking Zelda. I'm digging around in the game. I get struck by lightning. I casually say something stupid about, I hate this lightning mechanic. Why is it in it? Or the game developers were dumb to put it in there or whatever. I don't even know what I said. I really don't. Because it was such an off-the-cuff remark that I'm not even paying attention. I mean, who cares about what I say in one of my fucking video game playthroughs, right? And what happens? These idiots go to fucking TikTok and make a viral meme out of it like I'm some kind of a jackass because I said something randomly in a playthrough, right? It's not even something bad. It's just something dumb. Maybe it's ignorant because I don't understand the game mechanic because I haven't played fucking Breath of the Wild since 2017. I don't even remember it. So, but so there you go. Now, here's the thing. Can I get canceled for that? No. But of course, now people, make a joke out of it. But thankfully, right, I don't have a sponsorship or a partnership. Imagine if I did. I might have lost it. Just because it's something I said in a playthrough. That's not political. Anything today can be misconstrued or anything can be turned into something awful, So, yeah, if this is the case, if this is a person who's good at making content, you're saying it was Call of Duty, right? A Call of Duty gamer. They're great at making Call of Duty content. People love their content, right? And they want this content to continue, and they're making lots of money. They have a freaking skin pack in the game because they're so good at it. So they're prominent, right? And they're making big money on this. Is good. I hate to say it, you have to swallow your opinions because this is the world we live in today, right? Regardless of the fact if you agree or disagree with the opinion, just the fact that you gave the political opinion somewhere in a public-facing venue, a public-facing forum, which I think someone said it was a tweet. It literally doesn't matter, Literally doesn't matter. Can't say shit. Gotta say zip it. And that's the space you live in. If you express your political opinion today, there are going to be groups that disagree with it, and you could lose everything. That's the situation we live in today. It's kind of sad, isn't it? But that's where we are, And it's like, well, either you accept it or you become susceptible to it. And it sounds to me like this is a case where he thought he could say what he wanted, what he truly felt, and now he's paid for it, and that sucks ass. But sadly, that's the climate we live in. But, that's definitely something that we've been talking about. As they say, the pendulum swings both ways. So does the door. The door swings back and forth, right? And there's always extremes. Just in my lifetime, I've seen extremes one way, then the other way, then the other way, then the other way. It just keeps going back and forth. Actually, I'm doing it backwards because it should be a pendulum swinging this way, right? And, maybe things will change in the future. Maybe they won't. Personally, do I think that people should be, torn apart and canceled for something they said that has nothing to do with the content that they're putting out? No. Like, if he was making Call of Duty content and started talking politics in it, that's one thing. It's a different thing to say, I made a comment on Twitter randomly, and now you're canceled for it, right? Like, that's pretty ridiculous. Like, so everything I say in my life, I need to be completely microanalyzed and micromanaged. That's pretty ridiculous. And by the way, again, I don't even know what he said, nor the context, nor, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I want you to understand that I'm just saying from an objective perspective, right? I don't get that. I never have. But that's the society we apparently live in today. So, I guess we all have to live with it, right? Like I said, at least for me, thank goodness, I don't have that. You guys are the reason I get to make content. You understand that? Your support every day is why I'm here. Because I don't have the liability of a sponsor dropping me or a collab opportunity being lost. Because I don't have to worry about that. I can just be me every day. I don't give a shit about a bunch of people on TikTok saying nasty shit about me. What did that affect? Nothing. It did nothing at all. Who gives a fuck about them, right? So, you know, pretty crazy. That's the life we live, though. And these people who are making a living online, this is the risk that they have every day. All right. Natsu Eli re-upped their membership for 2 months as Street Fighter 6 Blanca wants to know about Blanca-chan cosplay. Good for them. Lies for Soul did 2 super chats trying to basically become inflammatory here. I'm not even going to read anything you said because you know that's incredibly stupid, and I'm not going to reiterate it. Arkham's Best did a super chat. Says, one day a DSP News Politics channel would be nice. Yeah. And again, if I do that, it's got to be indie. It could never have sponsors. You know that, right? You understand that, right? That I would never be able to do something like that. And by the way, if I ever did, I will right now. It's 2023. So let's make a note. Today is June 13th, 2023, correct? I will say this right now publicly to everyone here on the internet, all 400 of you that are watching and all probably 10,000 that are watching this after the fact on restreams and people commentating on it. All right, I will say this. If I ever make a political show, everyone's going to hate me. Literally every person. Because I'm not left and I'm not right. All right? And a lot of people don't like that. They like, oh, you have to be on this side or this side. You have to be all the way over here or all the way over here because if you're not with us, you're against us, right? And in my life, that's never been me. For me, when there's an issue or there's something that needs to be important to discuss in politics, I will look at things from all perspectives. I'll try to understand all perspectives. And a lot of times, I feel the best way to approach these things is from that compromise position where if you truly want to help people rather than advance one side or the other, only help this group, only help this group. If you truly care about humanity as a whole and the purposeful advancement of everyone together, then you have to find that medium where we all can benefit in some kind of a compromised position. Most people in 2023 today don't think that way. It's actually become even worse. It's become more polarizing to the left or right, left or right. And if I do politics, it's essentially going to be me trying to evaluate things from both sides to come to that medium position and figure out what really is best. And not to say that I'm going to think that I'm any smarter than anyone else, but a lot of these political things I hear today are just so ludicrous, right? Because what it is it's about not having moderation and going too extreme. If people would just realize that a lot of these things aren't bad, it's just that people go too extreme with them, right? These ideologies that you hear about, they're not awful ideologies. It's that people take them too far. And that's where we get into problems, where people hate each other. And that's ridiculous, right? So, from my perspective, this would not be Phil takes the red pill or takes the blue pill or, you know what I mean? Phil's based or Phil's totally woke or whatever. It's not going to be that at all. It's going to be a different kind of show. And I guarantee you what's going to end up happening, it's going to be all people hating me. Because they're going to say, but I'm totally right or I'm totally left. And how dare you say something that's not in line completely with my ideology? I hate you. It's like, well, you understand I'm actually on your side. I'm trying to help everyone from a neutral perspective. It's very hard in life to have a neutral perspective. I'm friends right now. I'm friends and you know, even related to some people who are very conservative. And I'm actually friends and related to some people who are very liberal. And it's very hard to be in the middle and see both takes and say, you know, I agree with something here and something here, and I disagree with something here and something here, and just everyone yelling at you, no, 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 no. You know, like, oh. But anyway, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if I ever do politics stuff, it's going to be interesting, but I guarantee you it's just going to get a lot of people just yelling at me saying how bad I am because I don't take a side, right? Which I'm not going to do. I'm just not going to do it. And the other funny part about it is some people feel, I guess that what they call someone like me is a centrist. That's what they call it, a centrist, because I'm in the center, right? But they say, oh, you centrist, the only reason you're there is because you think you know better than everyone else. I don't think I know better than anyone else. I don't. I just see these two extremes going at it. It's like two dogs barking at each other, and they're never going to stop. You know, at what point do we sit down and realize that the barking doesn't solve anything? Right now we have a governing body in the Capitol of the United States, and whenever they want to get a law passed, they literally sit there like petulant groups of children yelling at each other. Me, no, you, me, but what about you, me? You read the things they say publicly, the things they post on their Twitter and stuff. It sounds like a 7-year-old wrote it. It's like, this is our government. These are the people in charge. They can't even sit down and have a civil conversation. They act like a bunch of kids. And they're the people who are running everything. That's who we've elected. These fucking idiots. You know? See, I wonder why we can't get laws passed to fix problems when they're all a bunch of immature people only looking out for their own self-interest. Gee, I wonder why our government's like it is, right? So anyway, again, that being said, that's why I'm not a political guy. You guys don't come to me for politics, right? You don't. You don't say, gee, I wonder what Phil's take is on this LGBT issue. I wonder what Phil's take is on gun control. I wonder what Phil's take is on healthcare and blah, blah. No. We're here to have fun with games, correct? We're here to have fun with games. We're not here to fucking be a bunch of idiots and argue with each other about this shit. You come to my streams to get away from all of that because you're bombarded with that everywhere. You can be rest assured that when you come to my streams, this is going to be a place where we're not doing that stuff, and you can actually relax and have a good time with me enjoying games at face value. It's hilarious. So, okay, this is funny. Eshkel in the chat just says, what is your take on Bud Light? Laughing out loud. All right? Everyone's take on Bud Light is something political. You want to know what my take on Bud Light is? It's shit. It's disgusting. It's like fucking piss in a bottle. I don't even care about anything else. It's a horrible product, so why the fuck do I care about Bud Light to begin with? You might as well fucking piss in a bottle and drink it. It'll taste better than Bud Light. So why the fuck would I care about what their PR campaign is right now? Right? So if you can't even get past the product is awful, why would I care about any of the political ramifications of the product? Right? It's such a fucking non-issue. Anyway. Yikes. Anyway, you know, there's a reason why Bud Light is the product that there's this issue around. Let's put it that way. A high-quality beer would never have that issue because they wouldn't embroil themselves in that kind of bullshit. All right. All right, so anyway, we're almost done with the podcast. If you guys have like a final question or something you want to toss my way, please do. Oh, I guess I should check one more time for tips because, again, I'm not getting notifications on tips at all. So just to be safe, I will have to manually be checking today. We got a tip. Look at this. Absolutely, there's been a couple tips came in here. Hold on. So Play Cool did a tip. He said, I'm surprised you really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. Had the idea you did not. Had to check old footage. Started to play the game myself first time a few days ago. Combat was disappointing at the start. I think I like it more now. Bromance of the game is enjoyable. The demo for 16 is out. I'll try it some other day, but hopefully combat will be much better. Has in more control of what the player does. For the next part, doesn't... Oh, don't read out loud. Okay. The answer, they asked a private question. The answer to your question is yes. There you go. Okay. So thank you for the tip. Play Cool. And, oh, what the hell did I just do? And I fucked everything up. And then another tip came in. Oh, let's see here. This is absolutely hilarious. So here we go. What did I say? What did I literally just say? Thank God we're not doing politics today. I got a $1 tip from someone. They said, Fence-sitting centrists don't solve problems. Look what has happened to Tim Pool's Spiral. You're just saying you're a coward till you be yourself. What? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even know what that means. I am not involved in any of this. Do we understand? I literally said I'm not involved in any of this. And you immediately confirmed what I said. I said if I did do politics, this is how people would be. And then you gave me confirmation. Thanks for the confirmation, I guess. Oh my God. Anyway. You know, I would be curious because I don't know, honestly, if political stuff would work for me. Why? Because I would never get a sponsor. You know, I literally would never once get a sponsor. And the question is, are there enough people out there willing to support content like that through crowdfunding, right? Like, in the case of fighting games, in the case of video game variety, I've been someone who's been doing it for 15 years. There's people who love my style. Like I said, I make curated content for an audience that gets me and likes me. That's why I get to do this for a living. I don't know if trying to open up to a new audience with politics would work, because I have to rely on that audience to support it. I'm not going to be getting any kind of product sponsorships or partnerships or anything like that. It's never going to happen. So it would be very different. You know what I mean? You need that buy-in from the audience. I don't know if I would ever get it. Let's see here. Lies for Soul did another super chat. He says, let's co-op Baldur's Gate 3, please. I don't even know if I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know anything about the franchise. Thank you for the super chat. And Ian did another super chat. He says, Bud Light is the Street Fighter Cross Tekken of beers. Well, there you go. That's a fighting game analogy for it, I guess. Yeah. No, you know what? No, all right. I'll go even further. Ready? This one you might not understand because it's an older reference. Bud Light is the Capcom fighting jam of beers. Now, that's a good one. That's a good reference right there. It's even better. Anyway. No, not Cammy today. Today we're using Marisa. Today we're going to attempt to use Marisa. Play Cool says, Angry Joe always has problems when he tries to go political on Twitter. Boogie always has people calling him out for being moderate and never picking a side in politics. Expand Dong says, YouTube announced today they're lowering requirements to become a partner from 1,000 to only 500 subs. Are they scared of Twitch or acting opportunistic? Will they incentivize smaller creators? I don't know. I actually have absolutely positively no idea what the criteria was to begin with. You know, I always, since the start, was big enough to qualify for everything. So I never even knew what the criteria were. If they're trying to make it so more people can monetize on YouTube, it sounds to me like they realize that there's opportunity there. Why else would they do it, right? Does it have to do with Twitch imploding in the last few weeks? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? If so, this would be the quickest reaction YouTube's ever done to anything. Because typically YouTube's at least 2 years to react to anything. You know, TikTok's big. Oh, in 2 years we'll do YouTube Shorts, right? So, maybe it is, but, you know, that's kind of interesting to see that they actually did that so fast, if that is the case. All right. All right, guys. I think it's time to end the show for now. Thanks for a good podcast, a chill podcast. Let's adjourn. I'll take a brief break to use the restroom and, come back. And we're going to do Marisa today. Go into the guide, into the combos, and then probably a little bit of casual play before I actually take her to ranked and see how I do. Thank you for a great show. Thanks for chilling with me as always. I hope that you guys enjoy. And I really would like your feedback about Street Fighter 6. Would you prefer to see me continue to use a new character? Or would you prefer to see me now sit down and start focusing on the characters I have tried to try to get better? I really need your feedback to determine what to do for the rest of the month. Please give it to me. I demand it. But in the meantime, thanks for watching the show, and I'll see you tomorrow.